Namaste, dear friends. Shri Aurobindo Complex Trust warmly welcomes all of you. We begin today's session with 2 minutes invocation. Welcome, friends, once again. As a part of the 150th birth anniversary celebrations of Shri Aurobindo, we have with us Shri Aruldev to give us a practical session on the flame within. Shri Aruldev, can you put on your video? Can you hear me?
I can pretty much hear you. My video is also on.
Okay, right. Yeah. A short introduction of Shri Aruldev. Shri Aruldev has been sharing his inner work through his books Into Great Depth of Your Being, published by Aurobindo Publications, and The Flame Within, published by Soulscapes. These guide people with dynamic practices to support their inner evolution and outer creative manifestation. The Into Great Depth of Your Being has its basis on 8 parts of the being model derived mainly from the works of Shri Aurobindo, especially letters on yoga. The flame within is one practice to access our body. And in this book, he has taken few inspirations from Shri Aurobindo's Savitri. He is the founder and key facilitator for the Coaching with Depth, Basic Level 1 and Level 2 programs. He offers sadhana, inner practices online sessions. He is the guest faculty of self-awareness courses in IIT Madras for students and teachers since 2011. He is the founder CEO of People First Consultants, which has been in the field of talent hiring, coaching, holistic well-being, and leadership development for the last 27 years. With these few words, I hand over the session to you, Shri Aruldev. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. So, I'm not going to give a lecture. Okay, so we will do something together. So it'll be nice if I can see some of you all, if that's okay. But if that's not, then that also is okay. I can live with that. No issues. So basically, we will explore the subject as described, which is the flame within. Okay, and so what we will do is we will begin with a short exploration, and you can do it, and you can either share what's happening within you through the chat or through the audio, and then slowly we'll build. To just set a little bit of a context before we head there is like I was very fascinated with whenever I used to read Aurobindo's many books, and one of the things that really fascinated my attention was his two books on the Vedas. And there was always this reference to the flame, and so I used to be very fascinated, though I necessarily couldn't, at a personal, individual level, practice surrender that easily. That's always one of my most difficult things. Mm-hmm. But I was very fascinated with inner flame, and I was thus exploring it. And then is the typical exploration we all make at some point of time. It's like, how do you connect above the head, and how do you connect within the cave of the heart? This, for anybody who we have been reading, these are the two locations that have been given. So we will explore that today. So I began my own journey. I did first in the cave. I should do that sitting inside the Matri Mandir more. And if I go and sit in the Samadhi, I'll keep my eyes open, and I'll just keep connecting. So the way I've explored these things is not only through meditation, but more so through short inner practices that I do alongside work. In fact, most of my progress has come through the latter than through the former meditation, what I call sitting down separately exercises. So I used to sit in Samadhi and, look at people, look at their faith, look at their connection to Shri Aurobindo and Mother, the way they come. And suddenly I used to feel that in the heart. Then I'll connect to their room. So, I use my own methods to kind of go inner and go above. And that's what we'll explore today. One of the things that enormously helped me is the usage of the natural breath. That's been used in many traditions, including Vipassana. Vipassana traditionally uses the natural breath. Then one of my guides in Arul, we did a workshop together and stuff like that. So slowly I started using natural breath along with these practices, because it gave the capacity of grounding, being into the moment. Okay, so we will kind of explore this. But before we begin, what is inner flame according to any of you? You could either put it on chat or you can put it on audio. I just want to connect first. What is the flame within according to you? What is your experience? What's your aspiration? Flame within. You can put it on chat or you can unmute. Just so that I get a flavor. What is flame within? Very briefly, one word, two word, one phrase. Intense desire. Okay. Okay. Others. Okay. All right. Okay. So we'll begin the first practice. It's pretty straightforward. For about 2 or 3 minutes, we connect to the body and become aware of our natural breath as it is. So we first connect, which means we are connecting to the body. We learn to live within the body. Much of the work, later work of Mother and Shri Aurobindo were largely transforming the cells of the body. We're not going to talk about that, but just connect to your body, and then you will catch the movement of breath. Breath doesn't move only in the nostrils or the tummy. Breath moves everywhere. You just connect with your breath and be with your breath for 2 minutes. Now, in the process of doing this, obviously, we'll get deviated. We'll think of 101 things, etc. If that's occurring, just come back to the breath. Come back to the breath. Now, my request to those who have not put the video on is to do the practice because so I do a lot of sessions for adults and students. Like during the first lockdown, I was roped in to do a university course on the self-awareness and all that. So we'll have about 98 or 100 students, and they'll all have the cameras off, and one good soul like Meenakshi will, okay, poor guy, he's asked, I'll put the video on like that. And once in a while, these guys will make a mistake of unmuting the audio, and we'll hear all kinds of things on the background. So then we know what's going on, So, so my request is, we'll explore. We'll do it together. If that's the case, then you'll have to sit in a place where you can be with yourself, so that you can really dive in to try and see if you could touch the flame within many times today. Okay. So close your eyes for the next 2-3 minutes. Connect to your body. Become aware of your body. Actually feel the body. This is your first checkpoint. How much can you be within the body before the mind takes over? And then how quickly you can come back and connect with the body. And now, as you are with the body, also start becoming aware of your breath. For 2 minutes, just be with your breath. And whenever you get distracted, no problem, just come back to the breath. Now, you can just let go, be with your body, and observe within the body what quality has increased in the last 2 minutes. What quality has increased within your body? And then come back. Ground yourself fully and open your eyes whenever you're ready. Okay, now either unmute your, I like dialogue if it's possible, a little bit. So what happened inside you? I know sometimes, we get distracted, we may feel sleepy, so all that is okay. But apart from that, what happened inside you and what quality inside you increased when you did this practice? Anybody? Put it on chat or unmute and share.
The feeling of calmness has increased once when you go in.
Okay, perfect. Awareness of emptiness, perfect. Anybody else? Just very briefly, just a couple of words. Felt relaxed. Okay. Okay, all right. Now we'll go to the second practice. We'll go to the basic practice, which is the diving into the cave of the heart. Okay. And we'll do that in at least two or three ways, depending on how we explore. And then we could also do practices above the head. Okay. So it's very simple, and we do this practice directly. No matter what theories we have read, no matter how many times we have read the books, ultimately it's about the inner experience and the capacity to stay connected. So we're going to explore the heart region. Okay. So we'll do it in three ways. First, you will become aware of the surface of your chest. It's pretty straightforward, the surface of your chest. And that would be very structurally, very physically become aware of the surface of the chest. And you will just be with the breath, be with the breath, be with the breath. Next is, I will say, go inside. So which means you're learning to, one thing mothers have said a lot is we need to learn to move our awareness to different parts of the body, different parts, and so here we're just going into one location. The location that we're traveling is both physical, psychological, and also consciousness. It depends on you. So we then, in the second instance, I would request you to take your awareness and go inside your chest, which would mean at a physical level, you get a sense that you're moving in through your flesh. That's possibility number one. And or you'll get a sense that you're entering into the emotional space. The body is extraordinarily porous. It keeps absorbing everything that is happening in our life, in our environment. And this one is extraordinarily porous too, and especially if one is sensitive. All of what they're going through, the life and emotions enter. So you'll move in and you'll park your attention somewhere in the inside. You become aware physically, you'll become aware psychologically, or you'll be aware at a consciousness level, in which case simple is to go with qualities. What do you see? What do you feel? This is the second. In the third point, what we'll do is you'll turn your awareness to point the cave. Like, actually, for most of us, our awareness is turned outward all the time. Our awareness is turned like this outward. Okay, we are thinking of people, interacting with life all the time. This is going on. So in this case, you will turn your awareness inward and point it to the depth of the heart, point it to the cave of the heart, like that. And you're somewhere in the inside. Now you can stay there and point to the depth, or you can shift your awareness facing the cave and move into the depth. Station yourself there for a few moments and see what do you feel, what do you hear, what do you see. This is the basic exercise. Any questions? Many of you would have done this also. Any questions? Yeah, thank you. We have one more person with a video on. It helps if the video is on so I can connect. Otherwise also it's okay. I can live with it. Yeah. Okay, any questions on this? Yeah. Okay. We'll close our eyes. bring our awareness to the surface of the chest and be with the breath and just physically become aware of the bone, the skin, etc. Now, move your awareness within. Physically, it will be as if you're moving through flesh, bone. Psychologically, it will be that you land up in a region which feels as if there are some emotions, pains, joys, etc. So move somewhere in the inner regions of the heart, the space. Be there and be with your breath. Now, turn your awareness to point to the cave. And you will feel that either inside the body or outside the body, that's totally fine, it doesn't matter. Wherever you consider the cave of your heart is, facing that, move your awareness, go within the cave and seat yourself there and listen minutely. Is there any sound? What do you see there? What do you feel there? Now, wherever you are in the depth, turn your awareness to point above the head. You're still in the cave of the heart. You just turn your awareness to point above the head and just be in that posture for a minute. And then slowly let go, be with yourself, and observe what quality has increased inside you. What quality has increased inside you. Then slowly ground yourself, become aware of your body, and whenever you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Take your time. So now, what was your experience? Is there any doubt? What did you find? What quality or what presence you found? You can briefly put it on chat or unmute and share.
An uplifting experience, and the body felt light. Awareness of the body was very less.
Okay. Awareness of the body was less and an uplifting experience. Okay, I'll talk about that. Yeah, sure. Others? What was any doubts? What was your experience?
I felt calmness.
Okay. Okay. So calmness.
But
yes.
Yeah,
go ahead. Bye.
But I expected the guidance how to lead the awareness into the art and the complete what as per your restriction. I required that actually.
Guidance how to go into the cave, you mean?
Take the awareness into the heart as per your restrictions.
Right.
Feeling the muscles, the bone, and into the heart region. So the whole part, what you just highlighted.
Yes.
How to take that
okay.
as per your guidance.
So I'll give you some methods that I have tried. Okay, and the methods can be both inner or outer. Through both ways we can arrive. So for example, one of the things that have helped me is that tiny practice which I said, turn your awareness to point to the cave. So, which means that like if you're very sensitive or if somebody is very sensitive and if they even feel their chest region, and if let's say they're going through a turmoil in their life, there will be pains and aches. Physically itself, there will be pains and aches when you press in, okay? Because these regions are stocking everything. So most of the time we are interfacing with people. Okay, now the flame within by itself is the aspirational element, which means, so there is an aspirational element, there is a surrender, and there is a receiving. Okay, so now in that aspirational element, I can do it from the cave or I can do it in any other part of the body also. I'll talk about it as we move along. I can do it from anywhere. Okay, but we're just taking the most traditional thing. So the first thing is to kind of move inward and get the difference. So in your own calibration, you get the difference. What is it I'm sensing on the surface? What is it I'm sensing on the inside? What is it that I'm sensing as I go deeper? That exploration will tell you, truly are we going inside, or we are only talking about it in that sense of it. So turning and then making this journey, surface to inner, and seeing the shift of what you see and the qualities is the method that I have largely used. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. So for this, we drop from the mind. Okay, so we are not doing it from the mind, actually. We're doing it with the awareness. So if the mind is observing and commenting, it'll be very difficult to make that plunge in. It's almost by faith. And here's a quote I read recently by Shri, who's talking about faith and intuition. And he was saying that actually so when you have faith or when you get an intuition, looking for evidence is foolhardy actually. Because when you have a faith and an intuition, if you fully embody it, it becomes creative. Whatever you have faith and whatever the intuition has come, it gets created. So here's where, the difficulty comes. It's like the mind will ask, what is the exact way to move in? And for me, I have figured out that there is no exact way to move in. We all need something because we're all basically struggling human beings. So you figure out your own way with that aspiration, but essentially I've given you some few pointers. The other method, which has really enormously helped me, is when I go to temples or when I sit down in the Mata Mandir, not inside under the banyan tree, not once, but at least 6 to 10 times I've noticed that suddenly I'll see a person coming near. Like once this happened in the banyan tree, I was sitting in the banyan tree, it was about 6 p.m., there was nobody. Then I saw a foreigner lady walking in. Something, moved my attention to her. So I was sitting in the banyan tree, she was entering. My eye was completely on her. The more she came closer to the tree, the more I felt love inside my heart, to an extent that I had not discovered it myself. Okay. Then she went very close to the banyan tree and hugged the banyan tree. Now, I was sitting by this time, I'd spent an hour in the Matra Mandir, I'd come down, I'd bent down to the lotus, and then I was sitting in the banyan tree, so I was very settled. The moment she hugged the banyan tree, I felt an infinite love inside my heart, which was not mine. You can obviously guess, it was hers. But since I was attuned, I felt that and I discovered that, okay, so much love is possible. Okay, so now I need to discover that. It was inside me and that is why it was coming up. But I had not touched the depth. She had. She was expressing it to the banyan tree. I was just attuned. I got that experience and then I worked towards it. So in many different ways, and the third way, the easiest is with flowers. One of the best ways to touch the depth of your heart is with flowers. And for that, it's like, if you go to blossom like a flower and if you read, then you'll only get knowledge. But if you go and sit beside a flower and connect from either a body part or the heart, something will open up with a deeper connection. This is how I have managed to go deeper. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So there's these questions that are coming. We can pick that up. Feeling of connectedness, Meenakshi, Manmohan or Manamohan. Okay, didn't understand how to move awareness into the cave. So after I now explained, is that clearer or is there a question, Manamohan? Let me know. I'm willing to take questions.
clear, I hope. Let's see as we progress.
Okay, sure.
How to feel the awareness without application of mind? The example one you gave. So, without the application of mind, can we become aware of that?
Yes, yes, that's the
what
whole
you say?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So we use inner senses. We're not using the mind. We're using the inner senses in this case. So which is why I said, as maybe we'll do it one more time, and then see if it makes a difference with or whatever we spoke. So it's like first you do it physically so that you get a sense, and then as you move in, you're using your inner senses of inner seeing, inner sound, inner felt sense. Okay. Now, here's a clue I'll give you. Okay, so maybe I'll ask this question. In the intermediate region, when you went in, how many of you felt some turbulence, some pain, some disturbance? Just you can raise your hand or something here. How many of you, when you went to the inner space, felt some turbulence? Nothing. Okay. How many of you felt care and joy in the inner space? Then the process is not even working. If nobody is raising your hand, then we are just sitting and doing something. You see, we'll do it again. If I keep my hand here, I will feel the temperature. I will get the structure here. If I move my awareness inside my chest, you're already using your inner senses. If there is some emotional churns, you'll see some darkness. You'll feel some pain. You'll feel the hurts. If in general your life is, is good, you're in good connection with your people and all that, you'll feel a certain joy. You'll feel a certain lightness, which is the emotions and feelings in the emotional part. When you go in the intermediate zone, we're entering the emotional part. So this is like mandatory. This is basic awareness, direct awareness. So did that come for anybody? That level of awareness, did it come for anybody?
Yeah, some amount of light and joy was definitely there. Very much so.
Okay. We'll do it again. Okay. Now, dropping further is like, sorry, no, yeah, okay, all right, good. So we'll do this again. Okay. Now, so let's be honest, it's good, so that you'll have to, okay, we'll do that first. We'll only do
We'll do it, sir. We'll do it.
We'll do only 1 and 2. We'll talk and then we'll go to the cave. So kindly close your eyes. We will check out. So maybe take your hand and place it on your chest. Take your hand and place it on your chest. Your attention, your question, that Chandrasekhar asked, how do you do without the mind? Bring your attention to the hand. Okay. And let the hand sense the surface of the chest. What is the temperature? What is the warmth? Is there a pulsation? Is there a sensation? Be there for a minute. The first obvious thing you will feel is the chest moving with your breath. Now, slightly press your hand on your chest. Slightly press your hand on your chest. And use that pressure to move your awareness inside your chest. Physically inside your chest, closer to your physical heart. And also, in a way, if you want, you connect to one or two relationships, the key relationships of your life, and immediately feel when you move inside there, what is the response that comes in that emotional space with reference to that person or people? What do you feel inside? What do you see inside? You keep your connection on with those one or two people and see what is the emotional response that is arising within. But instead of theorizing with words, feel it. What is your inner feeling? What is the energy or emotion? How does it look like? How does it move? What is the pain? What is the lightness? What is the vibration? Okay, now, whatever you felt, that is the intermediate region. Now move your awareness deeper than this into the depth of the heart. From this intermediate region, whatever you felt, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving to the depth of the heart. Staying in that region till you get a feeling that whatever current was there or feeling was there reduces and reduces and reduces. Do it very concretely. You move to the depth where you feel that whatever you're feeling is a little less, and stay there. Stay there with your breath. And there, wherever you are, invoke your divine or silently utter a om or just point to the consciousness above the head. Whatever is your style, connect to your guru, connect to the divine, utter a om silently, or just connect above the head. And now notice what quality is inside you. You are still there beneath all that was on the intermediate, either with a Om or the presence of your divine or open upward. What is the quality here? And then slowly let go, come back to your body, but maintain connection there. As you slowly open your eyes, continue to stay connected there and open, and see if you can remain connected there. So now tell me, did you connect something in the intermediate? Did you connect something at the depth? No means no, no problem. Yes means yes. Put it on chat or unmute and share.
Yeah, I would like to say something.
Yes.
I felt very warm. So I don't know what it was. A lot of warmth I feel in the body at this moment.
Yes. Yeah. There are, so first basic questions. You obviously sense something in the intermediate zone, the emotional space, clear. When you went deeper, did that, so you're like, so there's something here, and then you're going deeper. When you went deeper, did the oscillations reduce? That is the first thing to check.
I felt first I felt a sort of emptiness,
Okay.
and after that the warmth I'm feeling quite warm at this moment.
Perfect. Okay. So which means that certainly there's a travel made, but there is more travel to be made. More travel to be made. Okay. So it's like slow. So it took me about a couple of years. What I have been sharing took me a couple of years. Okay. But what I'm now realizing is many of the youngsters are just getting it like, with absolutely no background. No background of yoga, no background of Mother Shri Aurobindo, sometimes mischievous, naughty, bratish, youngsters. They just, and they're not fibbing also, because they don't fib in general. They are very point blank on your face. Many a time they're just slipping in. Okay, so so the first is the faith, that there is something very concretely, the books have been written, people have shared about it, it is there. Okay. Second is to avoid the temptation of knowing too much about it, which gives a feeling that I know it without the journey made, without the exploration made. So no matter what is the knowledge, to make that exploration surface inner, and as you go, so from the emptiness you have touched warmth, and as you go further, certain qualities will come. And as I hear from a couple of others, I will summarize some of the qualities. So Manamohan, nothing much, unfortunately, so that's fine. Okay. Nothing much. Okay. Anybody else?
Sir, with me, initially I felt not able to come aware of my orbit also. So I was a little bit surprised because not about to feel my heartbeat or locate. So just I kept the focus on a light, very light pain I felt in the heart.
Okay.
Few seconds.
Okay.
But still I'm wondering whether my heartbeat is continuing.
No.
Still now.
So it's a personal question. Is there some kind of, is there certain difficulties that are stopped in your life, like in the sense that, it could be emotional or relationships or difficulties? Is there something like that in your life or was? Sir?
Actually, I've done Vipassana meditation also. Right from the surface level, they take inwards. So that kind of practice, actually, I'm habituated.
No, but you didn't answer my.
Took me directly into the heart region.
But you didn't answer my. You didn't answer.
A little odd. Yeah.
You didn't answer my question. Do you have some unresolved emotions or pains or difficulties?
Nothing much. Actually,
then
the other way around is I have BP, but not unresolved, nothing as such. But
then it'll
I don't
come.
know. Yeah, since you gave me the direction to directly into the heart region, so I directly entered.
Okay.
What went, I don't know, but I was unable to feel even the heartbeat. That happened actually when I am surprised because I'm a Vipassana meditator. So part by part, and all I have experienced that.
Yeah.
But this time only, even to feel my heartbeat, I felt, confused.
Okay. So I'm sorry to confuse you.
I don't know why it happened, sir. But I'm speaking frankly,
You're feeling?
I'm speaking frankly. What I experienced.
I'm very happy.
Yeah.
It's very simple. There's a surface heart. There's an intermediate space. There's a depth. There is a flame within there. Actually and truly, as has been pointed in the text, it is there. So it is the capacity to touch its light. It's the capacity to touch its love. It's the capacity to be in its presence. That's all that we're talking about here, but we're doing it in a direct way.
Maybe I'll try once again in a different time.
Sure.
Thank you.
Felt peaceful, deep inside. Okay, that's Malia. Okay, perfect. Okay, all right. So we are anyway at 5. So we will leave this now, and we will go the other direction. So these are two complementary, as we would know, which is the depth of the heart and above the head. Okay. So just so that I'm aware, because last time when I did it, I assumed that there will be a certain degree of. So how many of you have made explorations by actually putting your awareness above the head, opening to the heights? How many of you have actually done that? Could you just put it on chat so that I'm aware? How many of you have done that? Or are you aware in an experiential way what lies above the head? Okay, so Chandrasekharan has done something. Okay, great. Yes. Chandrasekhar, is there a question or you're raising your hand? Yeah.
Going above the edge, after going above the edge, I felt the calmness.
Okay. All right, good. So we're now going to make this very, very, very simple practice now. Maybe I should keep it very simple first. Okay, so we will put our awareness, let's say, on the top of the head. Now, I'm making it as simple as possible. There are 2-3 ways of doing this. So I keep my awareness on top of the head, very simple. Okay, and first, just become aware of the top of the head touching the space or the hair and stuff like that. And then it's the same like what we did in the cave. You point to the cave like that, you point above the head. And it's like you're pointing above the head and you're sensing what's here at a consciousness level. Consciousness means qualities. There'll be some quality. So keeping your awareness here, you'll just, let's say you can either just point above or actually shift your awareness above, which means, let's say I'm sitting on the 3rd floor of the building. I actually learned to put my attention into the 4th floor of the building. Like that, I'm sitting here I put my attention 12 inches above, 24 inches above, many feet above. It's up to you. But it's like your entire concentration and focus goes there, and you're feeling and sensing what is there. This is all that we're going to do. Is that clear? Any doubts? Okay, so close your eyes. You bring your awareness first to your body and be with your breath for a few moments. And now, bring your awareness to the top of the head and feel the top of the head touching the air, opening into the space for a minute. Now move your awareness a little bit or a lot above your head as it naturally comes. Leave your awareness there pointed upward. Just be like that for 2 minutes. If you lose concentration, just come back, raise your awareness above somewhere, point it further upward, and just be in that space in a very receiving way. Let go. Bring your awareness back into your body. Be with yourself for a few moments. And then slowly let go and come back to your normal state and open your eyes. Take your time. So now what was your experience? What was the difficulty? What was the experience?
Once again, lightness and I would say freedom. Sometimes even to fly off.
Others? Yeah, tell me if it was possible to do, not possible to do. This is again a very basic from Integral Yoga perspective, connecting to the consciousness above the head, and you would know the background to it. There's a lot of levels that Aurobindo would have shared that exists above, but we're just doing the very basic first level, just opening above. Any experiences, any doubts? I think my method is very different from what you have been exposed to, is one of the sense that I'm getting.
Sir, the very right word I felt what you use now. So when I tried to feel the name of awareness only, I was a bit confused to locate the feeling. So when you just said me, use the word as consciousness, it triggered me that in the name of consciousness, the possibility is there. Feel in the name of consciousness, along with awareness.
Yeah, but were you able to go above, and what was your experience when you connected to the above?
Actually, I had distractions in the mind, actually. I couldn't
Correct.
feel that much,
Correct.
that fully.
Correct.
But I sensed the possibility that
Fantastic.
in the name of consciousness connectivity, the awareness can be felt.
Correct. So which means...
Because you use that word, I triggered that possibility.
Okay. So which means that as you try to do the exercise, the capacity right now to keep, like, so for example, from what I've read, from the age of 5, mother's consciousness was centered above her head. She was living like that, is what I've understood, which means she was stationed there all the time from the age of 5. We are stationed either here or in the emotional space, or sometimes in our what they call as the the navel region below body. We are centered in very different locations. So here, as you're trying to make the shift, the normal pattern of the thought is pulling in, right? That's all that it is. These two practices that I've shared, every time I picked it up, it took me 2 to 4 years. I worked on something similar. I'm just condensing and sharing with you. But to explore it, I took about 2 years, 4 years. went through it, explained, I'll sit in Matra Mandir, I'll do, sometimes I'll go off to sleep and like, oh my God, what happened? And then I'll sit and practice. Like that, over a period of time, it comes. So yeah. So it's
Today, for the first time, I felt because as a Vipassana meditator, so in the name of liberation, up to that bunk stage, I had experienced. Today, only first time with you, I felt in the name of consciousness, through awareness, the consciousness can be felt without mind.
Sure.
So thank you very much, sir. I will explore. It takes some time. I will explore on, and someday I will get back. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? Any doubts? Any experiences on this? Okay. So ask me any questions before I just do these practices. Let's at least talk. The other aspect of flame within is faith and aspiration. It's faith and aspiration. Okay. So it's that. So, for example, if I'm feeling a little unease in the body, that is a lovely opportunity to practice the flame within, which means, am I succumbing to the illness, or am I succumbing to the thoughts of it, or I'm connecting to that inner will to be well, the will to be well, which is a flame. A flame has two components. A flame has light and a flame has force. Flame has these two components, light and force. Okay. So light gives you that, okay, where to go kind of a thing. So if there's something that's troubling at the physical level, instead of falling prey to something, we just have to ignite that faith, ignite that flame and say, no, the body is meant for something else. Or for example, we are getting very, there are certain, let's say, impurities or certain disturbances that are occurring in through us. Then I use the aspiration again, which is a flame, okay, saying that no, I want to offer my life for something else. I use the word surrender as one of the most difficult for me. Surrender was mother's only practice that she was doing in the end. And I'll tell you to what extent she was doing. Surrender doesn't simply mean say that the divine will take care. It's not that actually, from what I've understood. Her practice was, she was completely aware of the cells of the body. And the cells of the body, not her mind, not her mouth. She was, of course, in that mantra chanting all the time. The cells used to go like not with words, but with a felt experience of unto you, O Lord. That is surrender. Unto you, O Lord, unto you, O Lord, unto you, Lord, which means that the Lord was directly acting on the cells. That is true surrender. We can surrender from our mind, which means the basic knowledge or whatever we have. If we open it up, if you move like the same practice that I told you, go here and open it up. If you're thinking too much about something, if you put your attention into the thought region and leave it open, it's surrender. Instead of beyond what I know, I'm opening to the intuitive zone. Unto you, O intuition, like something like that. And then slowly that will trickle in. That being able to do that almost 24/7 is the true surrender action, where you are come to a poise where you're taken carefully. You're guided by the light. Okay. These are the aspects of flame within. I'll pause here. You let me know if there are any questions or anything you want me to go into. Yeah. If not, these two are enough. These two practices are enough. Instead of loading more, we can do these, and that's sufficient for now, I feel. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to go in.
One question,
Yes.
with this flame within, can we reduce pain? Because normally with age, most of them get bone pain. So can that be reduced to some extent?
Yes. For that, you'll have to learn to go into the body and work in the body. So in fact, the title is from the book that I've written. So that exploration is all into the body. So for example, if you talk about pain, my favorite book is Mother's Agenda. At this point of time, that's my favorite book because I get a lot of insights on the practices. My path is practices. That's what I'm learning and researching on. So she uses the statement thousands of times, saying that pain is a false sensation. The second thing she says is, don't tinker with the pain, which means thinking about pain. Oh my God, so much it is. And then going and talking to Chandrasekhar saying, my pain is so much. And Chandrasekhar says, your pain is so much. Wait, my pain is better than you. So this is like, the conversation that goes on. We are zooming into pain. And she clearly says, again, don't do that, because what actually happens is the pain gets aggravated. Because you for a false sensation, you're giving it so much attention, and actually you're grounding it. So instead, we cannot avoid it also. If you avoid it, there is no healing. Instead, we'll have to learn to go into that body part, which is experiencing that pain. If it is the bone area, you'll have to learn to park your awareness there. If it is a particular part of the body region, you have to park your awareness there first. And then the same practice I gave in the beginning. You keep your attention inside that part of the body, be with the breath. It'll be a slight, that breath is like water. It'll just wash away a little bit. Okay. Now, basically you have to give a reconnection. So if pain is a false sensation, what is the true sensation? What is the true vibration? That's all. This is the only method she had taken. And she connects to the true vibration by pointing above. But later on, I am to understand that there is a true vibration into the substance of the body itself, but that's beyond our topic today. So either way, you are going inside the body and you're pointing it to the true vibration, and that is all. So everything disappears at that point of time. So first of all, to summarize, if you avoid it, nothing is going to occur. The medical system has, though it's good and fantastic, they've also brought down our faith in our own bodies. Which is a big disadvantage, because the body has enormous treasure house. They call it the golden body, not only in integral yoga, even Ramalinga Diglar Vallalar has spoken and explored it very deeply. So you go to the part of the body, the flesh, the bone, learn to be there, don't get entangled into the pain, but quickly learn to invoke something else. You can chant a Om there. You can invoke the presence of the mother there. From there, you can connect to the cave. From there, you can connect to the light above. That's the same. The same thing is where you'll have to do it inside the body. Okay.
This can be done for all general health issues also, no? What you said just now. The same can be.
I've been exploring that with myself and many others now. Been getting quite a bit of progress. Yeah, it can be done, but be appropriate, and if needed, take supportive medicines and all that stuff. Yeah, it can even work on, somebody once met and they had something that was suppressed inside a particular part of the body for 40 years. The same method that I've just shared, plus flower. You can use a flower on the body also for healing. I worked with a person for 8 hours, because it was that difficult, and the person was coming from a different location. It just disappeared after that. It has not come back. So it is like first of all, we have to have and it's not always that you'll get success. There are times where it doesn't. There was this humorous story where an expert healer comes to Aurobindo during Mother's times, and Mother assigns a few sadhaks who have difficulties to the healer. She's just experimenting. Now, this is like an extraordinarily advanced healer. He heals everybody. And then she says, after a time, everybody got it back. Now, it doesn't mean that the healer was bad. She says the divine will was not there for these people. So even if somebody does, the divine will, which means through the illness, the divine is doing something. So there's an act of grace and an act of divine will, that is one. But from our angle, we can do as best as we can. And this can be used for almost anything. Yes, that's true. Yes. Okay.
Any questions?
Yes, I have a question, please.
Yes.
And that is about, you spoke about surrender. The way I look at it is that surrender is actually to accept things as they are. So accepting the reality. Um, could you talk something? I mean, I would like to hear what's. Could you reflect on this? I mean, that's how I see surrender, but I don't know.
I'm going to put myself in trouble by answering this question, but I will put myself in trouble. So accepting reality is not surrender as far as I understand. Okay, because for example, much of mother's work was challenging even nature. And even this has been repeated so many times, especially in the agenda, is like, the body itself is accepting certain things as a norm, as a law, and thus it keeps recreating it. So there's the transformation by both mother and Shri Aurobindo involved going beyond nature. Okay. So coming back to our normal life, let's say it's a spouse relationship or a work relationship and something is going up and down. The aspect of, okay, I accept the reality as it is, and is definitely a very positive thing. There is no doubt about that, which is perhaps a surface part of surrender. The aspect of surrender that I have understood is the symbol of Shri Aurobindo. There's an upward triangle and there's a downward triangle. It's like that old story, I think in Mahabharata or something, like somebody is taking the attire of Draupadi and she's calling unto the Lord and something is draped around her. That is surrender, which means that there's a call and there is a grace that descends. That is surrender. That experience is surrender in my personal view, which is why I'm saying for me that I find it very difficult because parts of me were trained to be independent. Parts of me were trained to handle situations, no matter how difficult it is. That full reliance on something, I've not been able to crack it yet. But with surrender is very deep transformation. That's what I've understood. So which means your nature would get transformed. Your relationships would get transformed. Your work life would get transformed. That is how I've seen and understood it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay.
Any other question?
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Ajit ji, shall I continue? Thank you very much, Shri Aruldev, for a very beautiful session on the flame within. And we got the basic techniques of integral yoga. Thank you very much. And we do request you to please come again and grace us. Okay, grace this occasion.
Trouble you all a little bit more. Yes. Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
We have got a lot of theory, some practical is, as the mother said, one drop of practice is better than oceans of theories, as she puts it.
Yes.
Well, friends, we close this session with this prayer to Shri Aurobindo and the mother. Om Shri Aurobindo Meera, open my mind, my heart, my life to your light, your love, your power in all things. May I see the divine, Shri Aurobindo. Thank you. We close with 1 minute silence. Thank you.